Hi everyone, and a very warm welcome back to The Library is Open. So I hope you've brought your library cards, my darlings. And yes, you've guessed it from the title of this video. It's time for another book projection, basically. A look into what's coming out in the last 6 months of the year, as we have reached the midpoint of 2022 now. So we're going to talk through the next 11 most anticipated releases for me. So that's exciting. All information is correct as of me filming this video, but so if anything is wrong, I do apologise, or if anything changes, as it's wont to do in publishing, and all the release dates and etc. are unfortunately just UK based, because that's what I have access to. So without further ado, let's get stuck in. So first up, on the 7th of this very month, 7th of July 2022, is Boyfriends by Michael Pedersen, published by Faber and Faber. And this is a memoir of sorts, dedicated to the memory of Scott Hutchinson, who was the frontman of the band Frightened Rabbit. And the blurb says, in 2018, poet and author Michael Pedersen lost cherished friend Scott soon after their collective voyage into the landscape of the Scottish Highlands. Just weeks later, Michael began to write to him. As he confronts the bewildering process of grief, what starts as a love letter to one magical human soon becomes a paean to the gorgeous male friendships that have transformed his life. That sounds absolutely delightful, and if there's anything we need, I think it's more exploration into those into the importance of male platonic and friendships and relationships more generally. So that sounds brilliant. Second up, and on the same day of release, the 7th of July, is by Edouard, a French author whose previous works include History of Violence and The End of Eddie. It's very good. I met him at a book signing in Waterstones and a bit of a talk. It was great. This was translated by Tash from the French, and it's A Woman's Battles and Transformations, published by Vintage. And this is about Edouard's mother. He writes primarily autobiographically. And basically it's about her deciding at the age of 45 to free herself from the oppression of her circumstances by leaving her husband and starting a new life in Paris. And the blurb describes it as Louis' most tender book yet, reckoning into the cruel systems that govern our lives of politics and power. Now, a lot of his work touches on issues of class and social deprivation as well, and it's always a real pleasure to read that prose in translation. Thirdly, also in July, but the 21st this time, and published by Little Brown. You knew we wouldn't get through one of these vlogs without a cozy. So this is Katy Watson's The Three Dahlias, in which a trio of actresses famous for portraying Golden Age sleuth Dahlia Lively must join forces to unmask a killer in this readable cozy crime pastiche. So yeah, they rock up basically at a stately home of an author, Lettice Davenport, who created Dahlia Lively. And whilst there is national treasure Rosalind King from the original movies, who's feeling sensitive that she's past her prime, TV Dahlia for 13 seasons, Caro Hooper, and ex-child star Posey Starling, who is fresh out of the fame wilderness and rehab to take on the Dahlia mantle for the new movie, but is feeling outclassed. Each actress has her own interpretation of the character and her own secrets to hide, but this English summer weekend they will have to put aside their differences as the crimes at the stately home turn anything but cosy. Now, I'm sold. Take my money. So fourthly, we're heading forward to August now, the 18th. This is The Book Eaters by Sunyi Dean, published by HarperCollins, which is described as a gorgeous new fantasy horror. And it says, hidden across England and Scotland live 6 old book-eater families. The last of their lines, they exist on the fringes of society and subsist on a diet of stories and legends. Children are rare and their numbers have dwindled, so when Devon Fair, where the second child is born, a dreaded mind-eater, a perversion of her own kind who consumes not stories but the minds and souls of humans, she flees before he can be turned into a weapon for the family, or worse. And it says, this is a story of escape, a savage mother's devotion, and a queer love that will electrify readers. Very, very into fantasy at the moment, particularly kind of period tinged fantasies, you know, with the gothic trappings. So this one looks like a really exciting one. And fifth, we're now into September, and this is Judy Island's A Magic Steeped in Poison, which comes out on the 6th and published by Titan Books. Now, I do know that the audio version of this, which is the first part of a duology, is already available, so what I might do is sneakily download that and listen to it, but we shall see. So this is a sweeping debut steeped in Chinese mythology, the enchanting power of brewing tea, I mean, I'm sold, and a magical tournament to decide a country's fate. It says, for Ning, the only thing worse than losing her mother is knowing that it's her fault. She was the one who unknowingly brewed the poisoned tea that killed her, which also threatens now to take her sister Shu. When Ning hears of a competition to find the kingdom's greatest master of the ancient and magical art of tea making, she travels to the imperial city to compete. But between backstabbing competitors, bloody court politics, and a mysterious boy with a shocking secret, Ning might actually be the one in more danger. So I read Daughter of the Moon Goddess, which also used elements of Chinese mythology this year. And I found it compelling, so this one sounds right up my street. Also coming out on the 6th of September, we have, published by Hodder and Stoughton, Fairy Tale by Stephen King. Now, I know that Stephen King is quite a contentious author for some people in terms of the depictions of particular characters and situations, but I think there's no kind of getting away from his authorship as a kind of cultural cornerstone of a particular genre of writing. So this one is about a regular high school kid called Charlie Reed, whose mum is killed in a hit-and-run accident, and he slowly learns how to take care of himself and his dad, who's left behind. And then when he's 17, he meets a dog called Radar and his aging master, Howard Bowditch, a recluse in a big house at the top of the hill. As he starts doing odd jobs for Mr. Bowditch and loses his heart to Radar, then Mr. Bowditch dies and leaves Charlie a cassette tape telling a story no one would believe. What he knows and has kept secret all his long life is that inside the shed is a portal to another world, which I believe is peopled with fairy tale archetypes. Now, I haven't really read many Stephen Kings, and I thought this, given my interest in storytelling and the kind of trappings of culture and myth and so on and so forth, this could be a really, really interesting one. And I think it's got quite a beautiful cover, so I think I might check this one out. In 7th, this one is so exciting. I've been waiting for this for ages. 15th of September, this is Marple, 12 New Stories, published by HarperCollins, which is pretty much what it says on the tin, a collection of 12 original short stories, all featuring Agatha Christie's iconic Jane Marple, with the aim of introducing the character to a whole new generation. And the featured authors, each of whom will be writing, or rather contributing, one story each, are Naomi Alderman, Leigh Bardugo, Alyssa Cole, Lucy Foley, Ellie Griffiths, love Ellie Griffiths, Natalie Haynes, Jean Kwok, Val McDermid, love Val McDermid, Karen M. McManus, Dreda Say Mitchell, Kate Moss, and Ruth Ware. So this looks like it's going to be an absolutely iconic collection, and, you know, I don't think we've ever got enough of Miss Marple, who I think works best in short story format, as proved by her Agatha Christie's The Tuesday Club Murders. So this just sounds absolutely delightful. I'm really, really hoping they absolutely nail the character. In 7th, this one is so exciting. I've been waiting for this for ages. 15th of September, this is Marple, 12 New Stories, published by HarperCollins, which is pretty much what it says on the tin, a collection of 12 original short stories, all featuring Agatha Christie's iconic Jane Marple, with the aim of introducing the character to a whole new generation. And the featured authors, each of whom will be writing, or rather contributing, one story each, are Naomi Alderman, Leigh Bardugo, Alyssa Cole, Lucy Foley, Ellie Griffiths, love Ellie Griffiths, Natalie Haynes, Jean Kwok, Val McDermid, love Val McDermid, Karen M. McManus, Dreda Say Mitchell, Kate Moss and Ruth Ware. So this looks like it's going to be an absolutely iconic collection. And, you know, I don't think we've ever got enough of Miss Marple, who I think works best in short story format, as proved by her Agatha Christie's The Tuesday Club Murders. So this just sounds absolutely delightful. I'm really, really hoping they absolutely nail the character. Okay, now this one's nice for me because it's one of my absolute favourite people in the world, celebrity-wise. This is finally Melanie C's autobiography, Who I Am, published by Welbeck. And this is released also on the 15th of September. So it's an autobiography, basically, about Melanie C, a.k.a. Sporty Spice. And her tagline is, I have never told my story before because I wasn't ready. Now, finally, I am. So this is basically, there's not much of a blurb available for this. It's basically going to be her experiences with the Spice Girls, pre-Spice Girls, post-Spice Girls. You know, and she is absolutely one of my favourite people. One of my favourite celebrities, I should say. So I'm really looking forward to this. And I hope she does a Waterstones tour so I can meet her and get a signed copy. Yes. 15th of September, proving itself to be a busy time because we also have Stoneblind, released by Natalie Haynes, published by Pam Macmillan on this day. And this is basically a retelling of Medusa. Natalie Haynes, previously having written new retellings of you know, Greek mythology, particularly from women's point of view. She's dealt previously mostly with Troy, but this one is the story of Medusa. She also wrote Pandora's Jar, of course, which was a kind of non-fiction guide to the Greek myths in modern society. This will be a familiar tale to most of us from, you know, as kind of a piece of cultural iconography, where Medusa is transformed into a gorgon by the goddess Athena. And I think this is going to be the untold story of how someone who was positioned as a monster was never really a monster at all. Finally, moving on from the 15th of September, we're now on the 27th of September, and this is Shrines of Gaiety by the lovely Kate Atkinson. I'm saying lovely, we've never met. And this is published by Transworld. And this, the blurb for this says the book is set in 1926 in a country still recovering from the Great War. London has become the focus for a delirious new nightlife. In the clubs of Soho, peers of the realm rub shoulders with starlets, foreign dignitaries with gangsters, and girls sell dances for a shilling. The notorious queen of this glittering world is Nellie Coker, ruthless but ambitious to advance her 6 children, including the enigmatic eldest Niven, whose character has been forged in the crucible of the Somme. But success breeds enemies, and Nellie's empire faces threats from within and without. From beneath the dazzle of Soho's gaiety, there's a dark underbelly, a world in which it's too easy to become lost. So I think this sounds gorgeous. One of my favourite periods of history, other than the Victorian times, is the 20s. So this could be this could take my Kate Atkinson virginity. We shall see. And finally, back to a bit of non-fiction, exactly a month later, on the 27th of October, with the release of Nick Grimshaw's autobiography, Soft Lads, published by Hodder and Stoughton. For those of you who don't know, Nick Grimshaw is a DJ and kind of showbizy personality person from Oldham, which is just up the road from me and the home of those vegan guys. Again, this is a memoir in which Grimmy, that's his nickname, will share his outlooks, surprising obsessions, and personal experiences with the world in book form. From his move to Oldham to the bright lights of London to his 14-year career climbing to the helm of the Radio 1 breakfast show. So I'm really looking forward to this. I really like Nick Grimshaw, actually, and I think I would like to know more about him, particularly because, you know, I think particularly, you know, when someone's from where you're from and you're always really interested in their reflections on that experience. So I think this will be a really good read. And there we have it, another 11 most anticipated releases, bringing us up to a total of 22 for the year of, yes, 2022. So those are some of the titles I'm most looking forward to reading in the coming months. I'm sure there'll be lots more to come, but of course I've set up this rule of 11s now, so I have to stick to it because I'm nothing if not consistent. Anyway, so do sound off in the comments, let me know what you're looking forward to, if there's anything I've missed, if you think that some of my choices are frankly ridiculous, that's okay. Friends can agree to disagree. I look forward to hearing your thoughts, but for now, the library is closed, so put that library card somewhere safe, and I shall look forward to speaking to you again very soon. Lots of love.